All right, World Indoor Champs. I like what I'm seeing. I really, really like what I'm seeing. So I'm going to, of course, talk about the men's 60-meter dash, but I also want to talk about just day one overall because I do like some of the performances that some of these athletes were able to put down out in Nanjing, China. That triple jump, I really liked it. So let's dive in. In the men's 60-meter dash, Jeremiah Azu, Great Britain, he got the win in 6.49 seconds. That equals his personal best that he had set all the way back at the European Indoor Championships. And that kind of set in motion the idea that he could potentially be a world indoor gold medalist. But I think the fact that he was able to match his personal best proves that Azu really was no fluke in any capacity. And like I kind of said in the preview, I didn't think he was a favorite, but I did say that I think this would be the start of, a lot of consistency that he'll probably be displaying throughout 2025. He's been coming off some good seasons. He's really been getting his footing as one of the, better sprinters in Great Britain and of course, across the world to a degree as well, winning some different meets around Europe and everything like that. But I do like Azu getting the win here. Now, Lachlan Kennedy from Australia, he got second place, and this was essentially a photo finish where Azu kind of from the, I don't know, not to say from behind, but he really pulled things off in the last seconds. Lachlan Kennedy, second place in 6.50 seconds. So that, of course, really justifies and proves that he was no fluke as well. Yes, myself and even Coach Rob, right, we've had the conversation of how outdoors versus indoor 60-meter dash. This was the first time that Lachlan Kennedy was actually competing indoors. This was the single first day that he was competing indoors. So for him to be able to get a silver medal here really showed that, yes, he has a lot more to be able to go. He has a lot more progress to be able to make, and he is able to compete with some of the best guys in the world. You're talking about Jeremiah Azu, who of course has been, on the circuit for years at this point. Akani Simbine getting the bronze medal, 6.54. He's of course been in every single Olympic and World Championship final dating back to 2016 except 2023. But Lachlan Kennedy, I do like him, being able to really show up here. And I'll talk about the heats and the semis in a second, but shout out to Akani Simbine getting his first individual global medal at either Worlds, Olympics, World Indoors. He got that 6.54 here. No more fourth places or fifth places for now. This is still indoors. We've got to translate that into the outdoor 100 meters. But Akani, he only ran one or two races indoors this year, I think in Berlin. And, he came to his first World Indoor Champs and got a bronze medal. Huge shout outs to Akani Simbine. He's 31 years old at this point. He's a guy who's, really looking forward to the long term, in terms of being able to get to the World Championships, get on the podium. Who knows if it's going to happen, but this is a good stepping stone towards that. Now, of course, Ronnie Baker, in my opinion, and I think for most people, he was one of the favorites. I thought that he was the gold favorite, but, he pulled up in the last couple meters. He also didn't even have a great start to begin with, so it looked like he was kind of out of it. But through the rounds, for the most part, I actually did like how everyone did progress through the rounds. They looked pretty consistent. You're talking about Benitez from Puerto Rico. He kind of took things out in the heats, running 6.49. Explosive. Oops, sorry about that. Explosive start for him to be able to really get that national record, really get a personal best there. But then Lachlan Kennedy, Jeremiah Azu, Ron Watson from Jamaica. A lot of these guys were consistent in the 6.5 range. Then we go over to the semifinals, and this is where I thought someone like Ronnie Baker was actually going to be looking good in the final. 6.51, almost matching his season's best of 6.50. Then, you have Benitez. He gets out very fast. Jeremiah Azu, Akani Simbine, Lachlan Kennedy. So we saw most of these guys, again, running in the 6.5s. And I thought that Ronnie Baker was probably going to be the favorite. But get into that final, and that's where Jeremiah Azu really shows up and shows out. And just last point on Jeremiah, where he not only started a family, he had a child this year. He also changed coaches. He moved from being trained in Italy under Coach Marco Irali. He then moved back to his old, I think, coach from when he was really young, and he moved up to Cardiff in the United Kingdom. So a lot of changes that he went through in his life, and for him to be able to get this gold medal indoors, really strong performance. Also notable, Lachlan Kennedy, Akani Simbine, they're going to China to compete. Akani is going to be in the Diamond Leagues in the 100, and they'll also be at World Relays. Lachlan Kennedy, he's going to be at the World Relays. I did find it interesting. I saw this interview on Let's Run where Akani was speaking about how, he wants to compete in Grand Slam track, but because he's based in South Africa, the time difference, just doesn't accommodate him. So, he's not going to travel all the way to the US and have to pay to stay there, and it's all kinds of things like that. But he does say he wants to be in Grand Slam track, which, could be pretty dope for, in the future. Maybe that'll be something. But let's move over, talk about the women's 400 meter heats. There's only one round. There's two rounds, heats and then finals, because it's only 15 entrants. So Amber Anning. Amber Anning is the clear gold medal favorite when talking about the 400-meter dash. 50.79 seconds, super comfortable to win her heat. And she even said, like, in the BBC broadcast afterwards in her interview, she said, listen, I want to get this gold medal. I want to, prove that I can actually be one of the best in the world. She was disappointed, of course, with what happened at Euros, so she wants to get a gold medal here. 50.79, comfortable. I mean, in my opinion, she's running sub 50 if she goes all out, if she's really running on all cylinders. I'm excited to see what Amber is able to do here. Then behind nothing too crazy for the most part, right? Alexis Holmes, she won her heat. She probably was the next most comfortable, I would say. Henriette Jager, she was definitely getting pushed in her heat. I think it was by Martina Wheel. They were pushing each other to, 51.4, 51.6. So, those two, they're there. Alexis Holmes, I'd probably say, is a silver medal favorite at this point. Rosie F. Young finished behind Amber, and then Justina Switu-Isertik, who's been here for a long time. She actually got the wild card because she was the World Indoor Tour winner in 2020. So there's going to be a pretty good final, but Amber Anning, by far the favorite. By far the favorite. Keep your eyes on her. I'm looking for 49 seconds, maybe 49 mid to low. Who knows? But going to be exciting. Now, let's talk about the men's 400-meter heats and semis. They had heats and semis. This was pretty good for the most part as well. Heats went to chalk, nothing too crazy in terms of surprises, but the semifinals is where we saw some exciting performances, in my opinion. Two semifinal heats. Chris Bailey is the favorite. In my opinion, Chris Bailey is the gold medal favorite, considering what he did in his heat. This was a pretty bumpy heat where you had the Japanese athlete. He went out extremely fast. He led for, most of the race. And then coming around the last bend, Sato from Japan, he kind of bumped with Montler from Hungary. Christopher Morales-Williams was kind of fading back. Chris Bailey, he was kind of pulling around and managed to take the lead and get out of all the back and forth and all the bumping. And he just comfortably, he kind of raised his hands like this. Chris Bailey is a gold medal favorite, in my opinion. It's going to be hard to take him out in this race, but you did see Monlaire, you did see Morales-Williams. They both, qualified as well, but Chris Bailey was looking comfortable. Don't worry about those times. But Brian Froust, Ja'Cory Patterson, both of them ran faster than Chris Bailey on paper, but they were pushing each other. They were pushing. It definitely looked like they were exerting a lot more energy than they might have wanted to in a semifinals, especially after running the heats in the morning. So I'm looking at Chris Bailey for the gold medal. I'm behind him. I'm not exactly sure who's the clear, silver, bronze medal favorite. Yes, you're going to have Monlaire as well as Morales-Williams. They're the two fastest on paper outside of Bailey, right? Morales-Williams, he of course has a world record. Bailey has 44.7, and then Monlaire, he has 45.0. But they're going to be in not great lanes, right? You're talking about Chris Bailey, Brian Faust, and then Ja'Cory Patterson. They're going to have 4, 5, 6. And then you're looking at the rest of the guys to see who's actually going to be in the other lane. So it's going to be tight. We'll see. Chris Bailey, I think he's a gold medal favorite. And, we'll see how it actually plays out, though. Now, men's triple jump. This is the event that I was looking forward to. This was the event that, in my opinion, actually surprised me because the performances we saw here, shout out to Andy Diaz-Hernandez, bronze medalist from the Olympic Games last year in the triple jump, only behind Jordan Diaz-Fortune, and then also behind Pedro Pichardo. Both of them, at the European Outdoor Championships went crazy, jumping 18 meters. But Diaz-Hernandez, bronze medal at the Olympics, gets the gold medal at the World Indoor Championships here. Not only that, he jumped 17.80 meters. 17.80 meters in the triple jump indoors is actually extremely competitive. This, I was cross-checking, this is actually the third farthest jump ever indoors at the World Indoor Championships. Not indoors ever, but only we had Teddy Tamgo back in 2010. He jumped 17.90 meters to get the gold medal. At the time, it was a world record. And then after that, you also had Christopher Olsen from Sweden. He had jumped 17.83 meters, which also was a world record all the way back in 2003, if I'm correct in that stat. But so Andy Diaz-Hernandez, to be able to get the gold medal here, really just builds off that consistency that he had been showing since 2024, and even, dating back a while back as well. I mean, he was competing, originally from Cuba, so, shout out to him in this triple jump here. Also, there was kind of a little controversy because we did see Amir Dos Santos. He actually finished in third place originally, but it was later found that he was DQ'd because I think he was using the wrong jumping shoes or something like that. So, it didn't count for the triple jump, unfortunately. So he was DQ'd. And we saw Yaming Zhu. He managed to jump 17.33 for the silver medal, but then Hughes Fabrice Zango getting the bronze medal here, getting another podium spot. 17.15 meters. This is going to be Zengul's final year competing in track and field. I think he's retiring after this year. You know, he's of course, you know, going into his 30s, I think at this point. So he's been a mainstay since about 2019 when he got his first medal at the Doha World Championships. Shout out to Hughes Fabrice Zengul and, you know, his ability to really be consistent, you know, on the podium year after year. Also, Jordan Scott from Jamaica, he actually, I think he was the one who filed the protest against Amir Dos Santos, but, you know, him being able to get 17.10, this actually was a really strong performance for him. So men's triple jump, huge shout outs to this field. I'm looking Andy Diaz Hernandez, 18 meters is coming, bro. It's coming. So love to see the triple jump here. Also, men's high jump. This was also pretty competitive. I did want to shout out Wu. He got his gold medal here indoors. You know, 2.31 meters. Nothing too exorbitant in terms of the performances. Nothing like too high, not 2.4 or anything like that. But really strong overall performance and a kind of good competition that we saw between Wu, between Hamish Kerr, the defending world indoor champion, and then also Raymond Richards. If you remember, early in the season, I was talking about how there were some meets on the calendar for Jamaica that didn't qualify because they weren't as part of the World Athletics calendar, right? They didn't get registered and they weren't official, quote unquote, meets. Raymond Richards had broken the Jamaican, or he jumped the second highest jump in Jamaican history in the high jump, but because it was at a meet in Jamaica that wasn't on the World Athletics calendar, that mark didn't count. So, you know, he was dealing with certain crazy things, you know, throughout the year. So for him to get a bronze medal here in the high jump at World Indoors, yes, it's not an outdoor medal. Yes, it's not a gold medal at the Olympic Games or Worlds or anything like that, but I think this is a really strong performance and kind of shows that, listen, remain resilient, remain consistent, show up when it counts the most, and you're going to be able to get on that podium. Shout out to Wu, Kerr, and Richards. So all those guys. Last one I did want to shout out from day one was the women's pentathlon. I'll be honest, not following the pentathlon too close, but if you're following, go in the comments. Let me know what you been picking up from the pentathlon. But you did have Saga Venian from Finland, got the gold medal. You had Kate O'Connor from Ireland, got the silver medal, and then Talia Brooks from the United States. I wanted to shout out Talia. You know, Talia has been going through a lot of ups and downs over the past couple of years, right? Going back to 2021 at the Olympic trials where there were some issues with like the heat and, you know, all kinds of things that were going on. So she wasn't able to get on the team. Then she did qualify for the Olympic team last year to Paris. You know, wasn't able to get a medal. I think prior to that, she had missed some teams and made some teams, and you know, things have just been kind of up and down. So for her to be able to get a bronze medal here, huge shout outs to you, Talia Brooks, really showing up when it counts the most. So that was just day one. I thought it was pretty interesting. Again, I wanted to really shout out the triple jump. That's what I really love to see. Andy Diaz Hernandez, 17.80 meters is huge. Huge. So really amazing. But that men's 60-meter dash, really did love it. Again, Jeremiah Azu getting the gold medal, matching his personal best 6.49, really proving that he was not here to play. He was here to show up and show out, and he did exactly that. Lockie Kennedy getting the first medal for Australia in the 60-meter dash indoors. I think the last time that Australia medaled in the sprints, either the 60 or the 400, was 1993. They got a bronze medal in the 400 at World Indoors in Toronto. So. And then Akani Simbine getting his first ever world or global Olympic, whatever, global individual medal, bronze in the 60-meter dash at his first world indoor. So let me know what you thought about day one. Go in the comments, you know, give me some highlights that you really thought stood out to you on day one. We'll try and circle back for day two as well, but always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.